Hey guys, welcome to Holding the Ball. Alright, hope you guys have had a great day today. Hope you guys have had a smooth day and everything went well. It's a little bit chilly here, but not too bad. But it's definitely heading into winter, and I can definitely feel it. Look, again, thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it very much. Don't forget to subscribe, like, engage. You know, you can share if you want to, not too fussed about that. I think engagement's really important, but again, thanks for tuning in. Let's get straight into it. All right, so I have actually dubbed this episode, and I won't be doing too much of these, probably once a month, but it's going to be called The Warriors Spear. And in this episode, I take a very deep sort of an analysis on, you know, a certain player. It could be, for example, a player who, let's say, for example, Ewan Aiken now, and then sort of like maybe 6 months, Ewan Aiken at that time again. So it's just more so in-depth look at the player, the background, how they're playing for us now, what they bring, why we like him, why we don't like him, and sort of things like that. So Warrior Spear, and I've dubbed this one Warrior Spear Episode 1, The Curious Case of Reece Walsh. Again, before we start, thanks for tuning in. Let's get straight into it. All right, so Reece Walsh, as we all know, is the newest, latest signing of the Warriors. We actually signed him on the 18th of March. An absolute gun, right? But to get to that point of signing the signature, obviously you've got to show some sort of credentials, right? He's got to be a bit of experience at the back. So yeah, just quickly reading up on Reece Walsh. He was born in Sydney. Moved to the Gold Coast when he was young, and he actually played his juniors over at Nerang Roosters, over the Gold Coast club. So for any of those who are saying he's a Broncos junior or whatever, no, he's not. He was a Gold Coast boy. He went to Keebra Park as well, and so with that infamous league, you know, sort of school, right? We've all heard of the high school, the likes of David Fafita, Payne Haas, Benji Marshall, right? The famous, extraordinary Kiwi player, Benji Marshall. Then we have Ben Murdoch-Masila, who currently plays for us, and another former Warrior, and a former Warrior is Ignatius Barsi, as well as Jai Arrow. So again, very strong list of names who've gone and competed and played and, you know, attended that school. So Reece Walsh too has come from the same background there. So again, you just know this is talent that is going to be good, right? So just an awesome signing. So Reece Walsh has actually competed. He played for the under-16s Queensland team, the Queensland side, and he also represented the Australian schoolboys as well in 2019. So again, good credentials, you know, good background, and his main position has always been fullback. And so with that being said, in 2021, Reece Walsh actually signed with the Broncos on a developmental contract. Not the biggest contract in regards to money, but a contract where you sort of, you know, have your foot at the door. And so you're looking to prove yourself as a player, prove your worth to your teammates, your coach. You're looking to sort of make your own mark in probably a space where you can't do it necessarily, because not every single developmental player gets a chance to play first grade. A lot of them probably play for a year or two, right, under that sort of title, and then move up. So again, Walsh being 18 years old at the time, still is. He probably would have thought, hey, you know, my sort of setting here is to potentially be playing just developmental for years. And so from that, my understanding is there was a bit of a chat between himself, you know, our coach, Nathan Brown, Roger Tuvashek got involved. I'm assuming some of the other players, the senior players, did sort of probably laid out to him the plan, the future. Again, in context, understanding that Roger Tuvashek is leaving us. And that actually drew Reece Walsh, and he was actually drawn by that. So again, I've said it before, and I'll say it again, but we may probably not always agree with Nathan Brown. Probably some people were very adamant that he wasn't the one. But hey, you gotta give him credit, right? Like you just gotta clap your hands, right? Like he got Reece Walsh here. Had it not been for him, hey, and I'm assuming probably other recruiters, but the point is Nathan Brown spoke to him. Nathan Brown was the one who sold it to him. Roger Tuvashek was probably just the icing on the cake. So again, thank you, Nathan Brown. So yeah, we actually signed him 18th of March, and I sort of remember just looking at that signing like, who is he? what is it about this kid? And what's the go? So I tuned into his YouTube highlights, right, on the NRL, and people sharing it around social media, and I thought, wow, zippy, fast, just wow, and a young kid too, right? Like, that's an added bonus. It's always good to get a good player, right? Like, it's good when you get a good player, say for example they're playing well, but I guess naturally we always want to try and get the youngest player, right? Because the youngest player will give us the more value time-wise, right? As opposed to a player you sign who's a veteran, say at 29 heading into 30, or even 32 heading into 33. Age is very important in the sporting context, and it's unfortunate too because obviously all our favorites age. But in saying, that's about, again, making the best of your time during that duration of your rugby league career. So we've got him at a young age as well, 18 years, and the contract does not actually commence until next year. So Reece Walsh actually left the Brisbane Broncos a few weeks ago to actually join us in camp. I think it was about a month ago. And we actually had him in camp with us training, and obviously debuted against the Storm, in what I would call a baptism fire for Reece Walsh. But you know what? He showed a very calm and collected sort of a persona in that field. The way especially when he was playing fullback, right? And again, hey, kudos. You're playing the Storm at fullback, your first game, you're 18 years old, right? Like, big props to Reece Walsh, who I believe had a good game, even though we did get battered. He had 2 try assists, I believe, or one, no, 2, I think, yeah. 2 try assists, 1 kick and 1 pass as well. Mamalo on the receiving end of both those tries. And just the way he sort of controlled the park, even in circumstances where it is technically stressful, right? Like, we're on the back foot, we're just absolutely getting smacked around, right? In the boxing match, you're probably throwing the towel, but yet he stayed composed. And the thing that I guess a lot of us Warriors fans really like about him, a majority of us anyway, is the fact that not only, is he young, but he's got the speed, he's got his pace, you can see the vision, right? Even the Cowboys game, you can see him looking around. It was so funny when he was, well, not funny, but it was just so like, I guess, wow, like for me, right? Like, you feel like a kid when you watch these superstars play, It was like a big wow, like the X factor. When he was playing, you could see sort of Roger Tuivasa-Sheck and Nikorima feeding off that, Like, it just seems like he has that offensive sort of mind, that sort of direction, that sort of pizzazz about him. He just has it. And when he was playing against the Cowboys in that first half in particular, the second half, again, hey, we won the game, that's all that matters. He was probably a bit quiet, but I don't think he did not try, like he definitely kept trying, right? Like, there were moments there, he tried. So again, that's all you can ask of a young 18-year-old kid in the second game of first grade NRL, right? Just try. He did that. But in that first half, just watching the way he maneuvered around, zipped around, was there, I think personally, the boys need to be more aware of the fact that Reece Walsh is always going to be popping around, right? He's very knowledgeable of where to be at the exact same moment, I believe. He has so much composure, so much, he's like he's like the ace card you have, you know what I mean? Like, he just has it, and he's young. And I want to say some pretty big things here, so if you disagree, hey, feel free to comment down below. But I feel that someone like him, if he sticks around, actually even before that, scrap that, I reckon even next year, midway through next year, if we're really confident, especially with a team around him, throw another contract. Let's do it. Yeah, I'm serious. Let's throw another contract at him. You know what I mean? Like, he's a player you don't want to let go. You want to hold him, make him be that marquee player, much so like Roger Tuivasa-Sheck is. Make him that marquee player. And just go, yeah, sorry, and going back to what I was saying as well, I just have this sense of belief that if things just go right, if things click, maybe, just maybe, one day, or maybe soon, who knows, we'll actually have a good crack at that premiership that has slipped our hands in 2 occasions, right? The grand final. I just feel like he has it. For me personally, the case of Walsh is that he has it. He has the X factor. That's it. He is the spark we need. And I hope we do everything we can to hold him. That's not to say he won't have bad games. All the legends have had bad games, right? But to say that he's someone who's consistent, you can see there's something there. There should be a strong impetus to focus on him and to make sure that he's signed at all cost. The best thing as well about Reece Walsh is that he actually wanted to come here too, you know. My understanding is that he has connections to New Zealand through his heritage. I'm thinking that he is Australian, Aboriginal and Māori. And again, it's just great that he actually wants to come play. The funny thing though is that he doesn't A, have his passport, and B, has not been to New Zealand, yet he plays for the New Zealand Warriors. You know, just what a sort of a rare fact there. Rare fact that is, to be playing for a team that is in New Zealand, in Australia, not having been to New Zealand, you know. So he took that on knowing that, right? Knowing that there would be a lifestyle change, knowing that there would be just a whole different culture, you know? And he took that on, he said, yeah, let's do it. He said, yeah, let's do it. And as much as I give props to Nathan Brown and the boys, got to give props to Reece Walsh for actually saying, yeah, let's do it. He knows this team, he knows this history here. It's awesome. This is a once in a lifetime thing, I believe. We should not let go of this boy. May he grow old in our team. May he be a one club player, I hope. But anyway, that's a bit down the line. Anything can happen, right? In sport, 1 year is a very long time in sports, let alone 2, 3, 4, 5. I guess, yeah, for me, so yeah, that's just it. Looking at it from that point, you know, from my point there, the best thing too is that he's contracted for next year, technically not even this year. You know, he's just sort of just having a muck, testing the waters. I think personally his best position for me, I think, is 5'8". I think that's just where he attacks the most. I get the reason for being fullback, I understand it, but I think for him, if we can develop him into that key 5'8" player, you know what I mean? We just need to build players. But again, that curious case of Reece Walsh, he just has it. He has it. Anyway, guys, thanks for listening to that. I appreciate it. If you have anything to say, or you agree or disagree, feel free to mention it down below. But yeah, thanks for tuning in. And remember, hold the ball.